And welcome everybody to the Melbourne Metro recap show for round 5. And
Hello,
with us
everyone.
tonight, we've got Toddy Simmons at home, so he's got decent internet connection finally. And in the middle of the screen, for the people that don't know, Altona Premier League Skip and current Victorian player Dane McKinnon. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Oh, mate, more than happy to have you along.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hey,
Good to be here.
interrupted already, matey, eh?
Yeah, I am interrupted. I left the door open. Give me 2 seconds. You guys take it off.
Oh, that's all right. Well, Dane, thanks for jumping on the show with us tonight, mate.
Thanks, Toddy.
Yeah, just
Pleasure.
a little bit of an intro, I guess. Dane's the current club coach at Altona, and he's the assistant manager and head of bowls operations at the club. So just give us a little bit of a rundown of what you do day to day, mate.
Yeah, so obviously assistant manager, so help Samantha, the club manager, run the business, the day-to-day goings on, and then obviously head of bowls operations, oversee all the bowls, everything bowls in the club from Pennant, the Pennant sides to coaching to running the club championships to everything that goes on in the bowls department at the club, I suppose, I oversee, and yeah, so it keeps him quite busy between the day-to-day business stuff and also a few shifts in behind the bar as well, and then a couple of days a week outside the bar doing some administration stuff and overseeing the bowls and everything like that. So yeah, it keeps me pretty busy.
Very good. And well, let's be honest, Altona's been a very successful club for a very long period of time, and obviously that still continues. And tell us a little bit about the club, and I guess I know because you guys get your uniforms from me, which is fantastic, and I appreciate it. But you're always ordering quite a lot regularly, so that just shows to me that you're recruiting more and more players. And I talk to Digger on the phone every now and then, and he's like, "Oh, we've got another pennant team. We've got to put in another midweek team," and so you just seem to be growing and growing. So how's that all going?
Yep, thanks for your uniforms, Todd. You do a great job with that. We're quite happy with those. But I suppose about the last sort of 3 or 4 years, like most clubs, bowls members were starting to sort of decline a little bit. We probably 3 years ago we were struggling to fill 5 sides. So myself and Digger, as you mentioned, Neil Paddy, the chairman of the club, I remember us having a conversation sort of that 3 years ago and looking at what we needed in the club. We sort of only probably had around about the 20 female members at that point, and we also probably lacked members between the ages of 30 to 60. So we sort of we thought we need to recruit more in this, and we need to try and bring some members in, and those female members plus those age ranges, and with great connections with our local sporting clubs, cricket clubs, football clubs, hockey clubs, soccer clubs, and we've got good board members too that have got relationships with those clubs as well, and we set out to recruit some people, and we've found that we've recruited quite a lot of ex-footballers and cricketers that have retired playing those sports, and they're looking, still got that competitive edge about them, and they want to keep competing, and they give bowls a try, and they love it, and they also come across with a few mates, and the banner side of things in clubs as well. They love that as well, and so we've benefited from the relationships of those clubs, and then with the female members, we set out to recruit a few more female members, and we were lucky enough to recruit a few. And what we've found is it's just sort of the domino effect. You get a few, and then they enjoy it, and they tell their friends, and then they want to come down, and then they enjoy it, and they sign up as well. And within sort of 3 years, we've been able to go from, I think, 5 sides to 7 sides to 8 sides, and then now this year we've got 9 sides on a Saturday. So
it's phenomenal. It's great. Yeah.
It's been great to see sort of buck the trend a little bit with that. It's been really good.
Yeah. I know back.
Go
sorry.
No,
I was just.
Go on.
back when I started back in 1990, a long time ago, a lot of clubs were 6 sides, 7 sides, 8 sides, 9 sides. Now, or especially in Melbourne, you guys would have to be nearly the only club that's got more than sort of 5 teams, and you guys are smashing it. So you're doing something right. So good work and congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Listen to you sounding all professional and stuff, Toddy.
Oh, sometimes it slips out,
Now, Dane, just from that, and I'm sure, look, a lot of people will be asking the same question. Should clubs around the place be starting to chase footy clubs, cricket clubs, getting involved with those netball clubs to try and get some sort of, basis or a good rapport with those clubs? Because, like you said, blokes that stopped playing footy, stopped playing cricket, I stopped playing basketball, that's why I got back into it. Should that be a general path for a lot of clubs?
I definitely think so. As I said, it's helped us to grow our membership base. So yeah, I suppose you've got to create an environment too that those people want to come into, and
that's the big one.
Yeah, so you want people to enjoy themselves when they're at the club, and want to, when they leave, you want them to keep, you're waiting for the next time they come back, sort of thing. So I suppose that's the first thing, and then creating those relationships with those clubs. And we're lucky too. We've got some great board members. I think it all starts at the top with having the right people in those positions, and we've been lucky that we've got some really good people that are doing amazing work, and we've been able to bring these people in, and they've enjoyed their time at the club. And so I'd suggest to other clubs out there, definitely get the right people in those important positions, the board members, and it's great to have people that have had experience in. We've got some guys that have had experience in administration at other, in other sports, football clubs, cricket clubs, and they bring over a wealth of knowledge from that, and they bring ideas and fresh ideas, and that's important. And then creating those relationships with other clubs and sort of all banding together, and I definitely suggest that. It's definitely been a key part of our success at growing the membership base the last few years.
Oh, very good, Dane. And just one last thing on Altona, and then a little bit about yourself. But I played against you guys on the weekend, and you made a pretty special announcement prior to the game. Just give us elaborate on that one a little bit, please. Yeah,
so it was pretty special. We had one of our life members, Lindsay Craig, plays 900th game of Pennant for the club on Saturday. So massive achievement. 900. It's crazy when you think about it. I think, it's. I think I've been at Altona for 13 years and played just over 200, and I'm not even a quarter of the way there. So, it's unbelievable achievement, and he's a fantastic bloke as well. He's, we nicknamed him the People's Champion a few years ago because he's just much loved and a great fellow. Always got a smile on his face, and so really happy for him. And I said to him the other day, "Do you reckon you got another 100 in you, get to the 1,000?" But it's a great achievement, and hopefully he's got a few more left in him.
Yeah, it's great. And you got another one coming up this weekend. I think you said 700 games coming up this weekend. Another player.
Yeah. This one is a few people may know this person. Graham Hoskin, ex-president of Bowls Victoria. He plays his 700th game for the club this weekend. Another great achievement. To have two achievements like that and so close together is they're both rare achievements, but also to have them so close together is pretty rare as well. So it's nice we get to celebrate Lindsay last week and then celebrate Graham again this week. He's been fantastic for our club. He's a current board member as well, and he's done a lot for the game in Victoria as ex-Bowls Victoria president. So, good luck and well done to Graham as well.
Yeah, very good, yeah. Now, I've known you for quite a while, Dane, and it's great to see you playing in the stateside now, and I've been playing for a while, and back in the junior days when you were playing in the pairs and stuff with Dylan and in the stateside. So it's great to see where you are, and hopefully you keep going, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. It was some good fun times back in the junior days, and I learned a lot off. I was lucky enough to play under you as when you were under 18 coach, and learn a lot off you, and I appreciate that as well. And best mates with Dylan and a few of the boys from back in those days. So yeah, some lifelong friends made there, and it was always good fun playing under 18s.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, don't pump him up too much, mate.
Shut up, mate.
His head's big enough.
Yeah, have a look at it.
No comment. Anyway, Todd went well this week. Thanks for asking. May as well get.
Did you say something? I just cut out. I didn't hear.
May as well just skip me and straight on to Premier League results. Now, just for everyone watching, I had some lovely new graphics last week with the ladders. Went and upgraded my computer over the weekend and deleted the ladder software. So I'll get that fixed for next week. Idiot. I know. I'm an idiot. Now, one thing I wanted to discuss, we discussed it pre-show. I just want to throw it out there. What is the etiquette for buying a beer, for example, or offering people a drink after the match? Because I had a little, well, not an incident, but the person I played over the weekend basically shook me hand and bolted straight for the bar and left me out there with nothing. So I wasn't overly impressed with that. But
maybe you weren't too nice to him during the game.
I was.
Clarky,
didn't say a word to him, mate. Did not say a word. I let me bowls do the talking.
So you didn't say a word to him, and then after the game, you wanted him to buy you a beer?
No. I'd just be interested to see what you guys say about the etiquette of all of that.
Well, before the show, we were talking about it, and I said, in pretty much, we all know just about everyone that we play every week, and we've sort of played against each other generally a fair bit. So it's kind of like it's just, I don't know, someone just asked, and it's no sort of written rule or expectation with us. I don't know, Dane, you sort of same kind of thing? It's
I think it's something that I think it's an important part of the game. I know when I first started playing when I was 10, it was something that my dad and other people that sort of guided me a little bit, where, it was one of the first things they sort of said after, you play the game, you shake hands before the game, you shake hands after the game, you offer your opponent a drink. You reciprocate. So I think it's an important part of the game. I know that when we play week to week, like you said, Todd, you play against a lot of people so you just sort of, it's a given that you're going to have a drink and a chat after the game. But, I don't know whether that's changed a little bit in other competitions or anything, but I think it is something that shouldn't be lost on the game, that's for sure.
Be interesting to see what some people's comments are on the chat, Matty.
Well, Dane Boots is already into it, saying always buy one for the opponent unless they don't drink. Well, again, you can always offer someone a Coke. I haven't drunk in an away game for about 3 years because of license issue. But yeah, you always offer. I do generally at home. I do it, and it's almost not an expectation. I suppose, but generally the home side in the lower divisions I've found would generally turn around and go, hey, mate, our bar, I'll go and get you a drink.
Yeah. I just think it's the first one to ask, just, someone's talking, the other one asks, yeah.
Yeah, we always, I'm finding that people are offering even midweek, hey, do you want a beer? And I'm like, well, it's 2:00, not really, but. Yeah, I shouldn't say that because I'm at home games on a Saturday. I'm into it at about 12.
Yeah, so
unlike you professionals that probably don't touch it.
Well, I've never drank before a game.
No,
and no, never ever drunk before a game.
D-Mac,
and for the last probably 8 years, I've hardly had a drink after the game. So,
Yeah, I'm much the same. I don't drink before a game. Just. Yeah, I don't mind having a few after the game, but not for me before the game.
No, well, you two professionals, come on.
Yeah.
Not like us bums in, Division 3, but that's fine.
All right, we've got to get on with these results.
Yes. Actually, I want to shout out to Ian Greenshield. He's watching from South Australia, so that's good that we're getting people from interstate watching. It's lovely to see. So thank you, Ian.
There's a little whisper that we could have a South Australian on next week. So Ian might want to be watching again next week. So that's pretty much locked away for next Monday night. So.
South Australia. Oh yeah, if you said someone from New South Wales, no. South Australia, I don't mind. That's all right.
Oh well.
Come on, I don't want someone from New South Wales.
Oh, we can stir some shit, you know.
Oh well, that's true. That's true. Yeah. All right, get on to Premier League results.
All righty. So Friday night we had Essendon and Deer Park, and that was at Essendon, and Deer Park won 14-4. And
anyone watch it?
Sorry?
Did anyone watch it?
I was at basketball, sorry. So I didn't get a chance to see it.
But, Mac, have a look?
Yeah, no, I only got a couple of updates during the game, but didn't see a lot.
Yeah. Well, I guess the live stream rink was pretty one-sided with Casey winning 30-6 over Jared Davies, so that makes it very hard to cover. And Deer Park won, from what I could tell. I'm not going to say easily, but it looked like in control for major part of the game. Yeah.
Always a hard place to play at Essendon, so to get a win on the road there is a good one. And Casey's rink's in pretty good form there with a couple of big wins 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, Friday night games are always hard with the changing conditions and stuff like that. So,
leave Altona Clayton. We'll leave that till last. Melbourne Bundoora.
No, we're not talking about that game.
Yeah, no, we're going to get to it. We're getting to it.
And then Melbourne beat Bundoora 16-2 by about 15. That was at Melbourne.
Yep.
Yeah, and there wasn't any big blowout scores or anything. You know, all sort of single-figure stuff. So, just another win for Melbourne, and they're ticking along nicely.
Now the big shock around. Well, not that there's any shocks in Premier League, but I think the margin's a decent shock.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yes, that from to win by 30-odd shots was a real upset. Yarraville over Moonee Valley. But again, it can happen quite easily. Side just gets a bit on top and a couple of good conversions and things go right.
Yeah, I spoke to Dylan today, just briefly, snapper for the people that don't know, Dylan Fisher. He said, look, Yarraville were just all over it, played a lot better in the conditions. Moonee Valley just struggled. Half of them didn't show up. If you know what I mean. He said we were well down in how we played, plus just didn't handle conditions, and Yarraville were all over it early, and it just snowballed from there. So just one of those days.
Probably the big winner here was Craig Mills. He happens to be a South Australian. He won by 15. So we'll be hopefully chatting to him next week. He's a South Australian, but plays Pennant as a home base in Yarraville and plays in the stateside. So
let the cat out of the bag nice and early.
Yeah, that's all right. Get some more people viewing next week.
Yeah,
and then the Altona Clayton game.
Yes, we'll talk about this heavily, won't we, D-Mac?
Well, it was 20 shots, but I would probably say, and D-Mac would probably agree, it didn't feel like a 20-shot margin victory. Probably wouldn't have felt that comfortable for you guys during the game to be having a 20-shot win. But that's what it ended up to be. What do you reckon, Dane?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It was, I think we got out to maybe 10 or 15 shots fairly early in the game, and then with the click of the fingers, I looked up at the board and it was neck and neck, and every rink was pretty tight. And then a couple of our rinks were able to sort of kick away a little bit, and Ali sort of got a little bit of gap on our rink, and then towards the end we were able to sort of get it back to a 3-shot margin, and the other rinks were sort of able to win by that 8 or 9. It was a pretty tight game for most of the day, and like you said, I didn't feel like a 20-shot margin, but we're happy to get the win and come away with 16 points. It's in this competition, it's pretty tight every week. So every win's important. And it was good to get the win.
Toddy?
Yeah.
How'd you go?
Well, no, I don't think it was good to get the win,
Toddy?
but hey,
Come on, how'd you go?
What? No, I come second, so that was all right.
Hey, Toddy, you going to get it?
You
ready for it? Be better.
No,
Be
that's all
better,
right.
Toddy.
Look, I think I lost by 8 or 9 in the end.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly. You lost by 9.
Yeah. And, we lost the 2 on the last end, whatever. We needed a 7 going for a miracle. But
you were chasing shots.
Well, just for you got to try, but the chances of getting a 7 were, pretty slim, but you can't give up. But Nathan Wilson, I played him, and I'd probably say we had quite a close game. He played very good, but he played a couple of absolute,
belters,
ripping shots that, we were holding 2 and he potted the jack for 5, and I missed. I went in the ditch. Whereas if he missed that, I was landing one of their bowls for 7. So, you look at that, he misses and I land, well, I win the rink by 3, but that's not how it panned out. And the shot was there, it was risky, he took it and he got it, played it perfect. And, you just got to be like, yep, too good. That's, unfortunately, that's been happening to us a little bit too often this season. So hopefully this week it's our turn. Although it won't be me.
You're having the week off.
Yes, I've been dropped. Yep.
I was going to say, is that secret code for, you've been given the ass?
Bit of both, maybe.
I've got a family thing on. I'm having the week off. Yeah.
Yeah, for the next 6 weeks. No. So, anyways, that's all good. And, we live to fight another day. And I guess probably looking at the ladder, it was quite interesting. There's 2 teams won 4, 2 won 3, 2 won 2, and 2 won 1. So, 2 or 3 weeks, we win 2 or 3 games. Someone loses 2 or 3 games. Big change in the season. So but yes,
because we are 35% of the way through the season.
Yeah, I know.
No, somebody brought it up on Facebook about how close Premier Reserve is, and somebody went, get back to us when it's halfway through, and I went, well, we're 35.
It's like another 2 games.
35.7% of the way through. Give it a rest.
Oh, no. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add for Premier League, Dane?
Not really. Yeah, like you were saying, it is that close every week. There's no, I suppose a couple of years ago with Premier League, you could sort of bank on maybe 1 or 2 teams being a little bit weaker. But this week, it just feels like every game's, I think last week, your game against Essendon, I think Essendon might have been on top and you guys were bottom. And, but it's not a true reflection. It's not we knew going into the game on the weekend that Clayton's not even though their ladder position might have been there, knowing that, they're not what a bottom side used to be sort of 3, 4, 5 years ago. So
it's good for the comp.
Everyone's important. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
You can't pick who's going to get relegated. You can't pick who's going to win it, who's going to make the top 4. So it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, we'll see that with Prem Reserve in a tick. But just a quick one, because I suppose everyone played in it. How did you guys find the conditions on the weekend? It's a bit tricky.
Yeah, it was. It was quite gusty, but I suppose we were at Altona on our number 1 green there, so it's a little bit protected by the clubhouse. Yeah, so it would have been a lot more difficult out on our 2nd green, which is well known for being pretty, getting wind affected. But the green ran pretty. I don't know what you think, Todd, but the green ran pretty well, I thought. Obviously the wind made it a little bit tricky, but I don't think we would have had it as bad as people at some other venues.
I'd like to be able to say the conditions were atrocious and it was just the wind that knocked all their bowls closer, but it wasn't easy, but it certainly wasn't really hard with the wind. It was fine, the conditions. Yeah.
No,
and as they said, you are protected a bit at Altona. So
because out and about it was you put a bowl down, a typical windy day, put a bowl down, bang, gust get you, see you later. Or you put it out to allow for a little bit of the wind, and then the wind would die off and out it'd hang. But what do you do?
Same for everyone.
Yeah, I know. We're all going to play on days like that. Righto, Premier Reserve.
Yep. So we've got the first game listed. We've got MCC lost to Whittlesea at MCC, which I got to say that was a big surprise, and a few little bites on Facebook for a bit of action there. I was seeing for a couple of things, but anyways, that's okay. So there was probably Dale Jones won by 10. And then there was Dylan Benwell that lost by 14 over Ray Jansen. I'm just, I guess, surprised. I probably thought MCC would have just about not lost a game in Prem Reserve, knowing who they've got, the players, the quality, But, it hasn't been the case so far. And, I'll still be backing them. But, hey.
The comment was made. Yeah, the comment was made during the week on Facebook by one of the Lilydale guys. And they said this competition is so tight that, anybody can beat anybody on any given day without any notice. There's no excuses of, and you probably see it more in Prem Reserve.
Well, I'll agree to that to some extent.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Whittlesea's team, they've got, 4 or 5 or 6 players that are, quality players and been playing for a long time.
Yeah.
So they're not just an average Premier Reserve team, either Whittlesea on paper.
Yeah.
So
the results probably don't really reflect.
Yeah, I think Whittlesea are a better team than the results that they've been having.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But good on them, and that's it.
Win.
You turn up, you play good, fair chance you're going to win. Yeah.
Who we got next? We've got
Lilydale versus Port Melbourne. So these first 2 tips I've got wrong. I picked the other 2. Lilydale at home always going to be hard
Lilydale's
to
tough
beat.
at home, and it's
for sure
lightning quick, carpet outside synthetic, and on a day like yesterday, because they sit on top of a hill at Lilydale. So,
so the closest rink score was 9 shots in that game.
Yeah.
So it was a very lopsided game in terms of each rink. So yeah,
would not surprise me. But again, good win by Lilydale. Actually gets them up on top of the ladder. So
and then Dandenong and Fitzroy, they had a draw. I don't know what was happening towards the end, but it's got a few close rinks, and then Jack McNabb had a big win over Sammy Atkinson by 14. And then the other 3 rinks sort of, 8-4 and 8-2 and 2 sort of get that back. So and that was at Dandenong too. So
that was at Dandenong, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then Heathmont. Then we got Heathmont lost to Flemken.
See, just going back to Dandenong a little bit for 2 seconds. Dandenong have dropped a few at home now.
Yeah, which really surprises me. Yeah, because it should be
definitely hurts.
Yeah, it should be their advantage, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be. Especially because Dandy can be tricky depending on what rink you're on. It's got a few gremlins in that on a couple of those rinks, and you would think, knowing those gremlins, they should be getting over the line in a few more of their home games. So
I agree with that, but go, Dane.
Oh, so I was just going to say, you really need to be banking your home games in such tight competitions like Premier and Premier Reserve. You start to get a negative home win-loss ratio, and it can really hurt you come the end of the year. So that's probably something that might be worrying Dandenong a little bit.
But sometimes the so-called home ground advantage with the gremlins you talk about can be a negative because you're waiting for the tracks, the whatever the green's meant to do, to do what you think, but it isn't actually always doing it. So then the opposition just turn up and play the green for what it is.
Yep.
So sometimes.
Plant once a season, whereas you plan on it every second week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Why is that hand not turning? It always turns on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Well, today
it's
it
in
isn't,
your own head.
Yeah. Yes. So, great win by Flemken. 13 shots. So, look, I don't know much about what happened there, but, probably an upset based upon the results for the season so far.
Now, I did want to mention. I was talking to somebody last week. I won't go back and have a look. Port Melbourne, I believe. Now, Dane, you'd probably know him. Charlie Boswood. He's in the under-18 squad.
Yes, yep.
He's actually playing third at Port, which is not bad for a 15-year-old.
Yeah, it's a great achievement. To be so young and already playing back end in a Premier Reserve comp. It's a credit to him.
Because I think he was telling me last week, because I had a quick chat to him over Facebook. So he plays with his old man who plays second to him, or plays second in that rink, and I think it's his brother Henry, also plays lead in one of the other rinks. So it's not bad having two brothers and the dad all playing in the same Premier League side.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's playing third for Brett Dodd at the moment.
Yeah, he is. Yes.
He's I was lucky enough to play. Yeah, I was lucky enough to play a lot of my junior years at Werribee under Brett Dodd as coach, and he's got the perfect person to learn the game off there. Dodd is a superstar, and he definitely knows what he's talking about. So, yeah, Charlie would want to be a sponge there and learn as much as he can off Brett, because he definitely knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see again. The Victorian junior squad is doing wonders for the juniors, I reckon.
Yes,
definitely
puts us in good stead for the future. That's for sure.
That's it. Yes, we've just got to keep them down here. That's the hard part.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. Start splashing your money around, Toddy, and start sponsoring a few of these kids, and we'll try and give them a bit of cash to keep them here.
Yeah.
You balked that real quick.
Oh, mate, what? Go against a club that's going to pay him 30, 40, 50 grand to pull a beer, for a couple of hours a day? It's a bit hard.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I know. Anyways,
it's something. It's something.
If they take it and they want to do it, like, if it's there, take it. You know what I mean? You got to do what's best for you as an individual. So
look, that's probably a thing for another week, but it's probably a decent discussion to have about, players leaving to play in Queensland. I mean, I can't see why they can't go Queensland, New South Wales, Vic, and play in those pennant seasons. But to all of a sudden put your hand up and go, I'm playing for Queensland now, that's a bit... To me, that gets up my goat a bit, but again, a chat for another show.
Oh, well. Anyways, the ladder for Prem Reserve, it's super close. There's only 19 points from top to bottom. So literally in 2 weeks, you could go from, in theory, top to bottom or bottom to top if all the results went your way.
Oh, yeah.
So it's super close. And, it's exciting. So everyone's either won 2 or 3 games.
Yeah. So it's basically from top to bottom, there's 19 points in it.
Yeah.
Which
I think I just said that.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear the 19 points. Sorry. It's concentrating on other things. Give it a
that's all good. But, so that's really good. Good for the comp and, exciting times for all the players in there.
Yeah. And I think that'll eventually flow into Premier League too.
I hope so.
Yeah, whereas Premier League will start getting that tight because you've got Prem Reserve pushing up right behind it to say, hey, look, there's some really good teams in Prem Reserve. I mean, we know about MCC. That's fine. But again, you get an MCC going down. Did they go down or go up? Yeah, they came down.
Last year they came down.
Yeah. But and you would think under normal circumstances, a team like MCC coming down to Prem Reserve, it's a walk in the park. They should be back up again. But they're like everyone else. They're 3-2, 1 point behind Lilydale. So it's not going to be easy for any team. If you get relegated out of Prem League, it's not going to be easy to get back into it. It's not a walk in the park to all of a sudden go bang, we're straight back up again.
Yeah, and that's good. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
it's good for the game.
Yeah,
it is. All right. Now we get to the boring part for some, for you two especially. I'm just going to whip through the Division 1 results. I'm half prepared for this. I had other things like blowing my computer up to worry about. Righto. So we'll start with Section 1. Glenroy defeated Melton 97-53. So a bounce back for Glenroy, who got pipped last week by Deer Park. Melton, unfortunately, still with only one win. Sunbury defeated Deer Park. So Lockie Davies had a 10-shot win for Sunbury. Taffy Smith, again, won by a fair amount. He's still unbeaten that rink. So Deer Park looking decently strong. But again, hey, any day a team can knock you over, as they found out on the weekend. Yarraville Footscray 84 defeated Brunswick 83. So
that's a big win.
That is a big win. Brunswick were undefeated, and Yarraville Footscray were at 1-3. So that was a bit of an upset. But again, Div 1's pretty much the same as Prem Reserve. Anyone can win on any day.
Yeah.
Kingsbury 96 defeated Aberfeldy 67. I think we've mentioned Aberfeldy a fair bit on the show.
Yeah,
so
they haven't won one. So
yeah, I know. No need to go into it and rub salt into the wound for those guys. Just quietly. So the ladder there: Glenroy, Brunswick on 4 wins, 1 loss. Deer Park, Club Sunbury, and Kingsbury all on 3 and 2. And then after that, Yarraville Footscray 2 and 3, Melton 1 and 4, and Aberfeldy yet to get off the mark. Section 2. What have we got here? Blackburn defeated Beaumaris. Beaumaris defeated Blackburn at Blackburn, 84-67. So home game for Blackburn. Blackburn and Beaumaris, I think, were even on the ladder. So it's a decent win for Beaumaris away from home.
Beaumaris were 3 and 1, and Blackburn were 2 and 2 before that game.
2 yeah. So Middle Park 82 defeated Richmond Union 70. So it must have been close across the board. Only 12 overall, with 3 rinks up for Middle Park. Nathan Zeno continues to keep going. He hasn't lost as yet, but had a close one, only won by 2 on the weekend. So
they're on 81 points after 5 games.
Yeah.
And there's only a maximum of 90 points they could have been on after 5 games.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a fair effort.
Well, that's 81. They're unbeaten, Middle Park.
Yeah, I know.
So they're have a look. Even looking at the score difference, 143. Well, that's after 5 games. Their average winning margin is nearly 30.
Yeah, it's still it's a huge effort to have only missed out on 9 points for the year.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So there's no. I think Middle Park, I'd have to have a look, but I think they made the sectionals last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Port Melbourne beat them.
Yeah, I reckon Port beat them.
Sectional.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
So, again, they're giving themselves every chance to sort of get up there and have a dip again. And they're pretty strong, Middle Park.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, they wouldn't be a duck out of water playing in Prem Reserve.
Yeah.
Righto, we've got Melbourne got defeated by Moorabbin. What was that? 105-. I did have it up. 105-66 against Melbourne at Melbourne. So Melbourne would be pretty disappointed with that loss.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had a few up in the Prem team. Don't know, but because they've been travelling all right, Melbourne. But yeah, that's a decent loss there. And our mates at Elston, Wick, Edithvale, Brighton, Elwood, whatever it is. EEBC, 81 defeated Bentley 70. Look, good to see Bentley get 6 points there because they haven't been travelling too well, Bentley. So I know, looking at the stats last week, they were trying to flip around a couple of teams and fiddle with their rink. So, to get 6 points in a loss, not a bad thing for Bentley.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, look, hopefully they get a win soon and get on the board and start getting things happening. Division 3, or Section 3, Croydon defeated Yarra Glen at Croydon.
There would have been a bit of spice in that game, I would have thought, knowing a few other people that are, mates and that have...
I don't know. I wasn't there and I didn't go back to the club to find out. So
nothing too bad. A bit of,
I don't know.
Mates having a sledge and, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, they would have been right into it, I'm sure. Staff was there and the athlete, Matty Crittenden. So, there would have been a bit of banter going on there for sure. But, look, end of the day, Croydon got over the top, which is good to see from my point of view, as you can imagine. Laylaw took on Mitcham. So the Laylaw and Mitcham pretty much have been the top sides in this section for a while. Laylaw defeated Mitcham 83 with 3 rinks up versus 65. Of note, our man Unch went down 21-16. Unch, you know you're going to cop this. Be better, mate. Be better. That gets that out of the way. Unch deserves a bit of that. So he's got the same record as you, Toddy. What was that, 1-4?
Yeah, he's doing good. Yeah.
Yeah. Both of you are doing real good.
That's all right. It's a long season.
Did he skip last year, or did he? Because again,
No, he played third for me at the start of the season, and then
so he had a good mentor before he started skipping at Mitcham.
Yeah, I taught him everything he knows. See, he's 1-4. And then he went to another rink, and then I think he finished up sort of swapping between second and third for the second part of the year. Yeah.
See, D-Mac, we're very friendly on this show. Bit of banter goes back and forth. Whittlesea 95, 4 rinks up, defeated Vermont South at Whittlesea. Again, Vermont South are struggling. Hope they get a win on the board soon. Bundoora defeated Mooroolbark 87 with all 4 rinks up. So the ladder, which is very interesting and would have surprised a few people at this stage. We've got 2 teams, Laylaw and Croydon, with 4 wins, 1 loss. And then we've got Bundoora, Mitcham and Yarra Glen all on 3 wins, 2 losses, and there's only 5 points between them. Whittlesea, after that, only 6 points behind Yarra Glen. So it's pretty tight it's pretty tight all across the board.
Yeah.
But, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, they probably don't want to be dropping a game anytime soon. Mooroolbark and Vermont South bringing up the rear there. Righto. Next lot, we've got Section 4, Parkdale were defeated by Pakenham at Parkdale. 74-86 with Pakenham getting 2.5 rinks up there. Keysborough lost to Narre Warren at home, 87 with 2.5 rinks. Or is that 1.5 rinks? 1.5 rinks up for Narre. So good signs there for Keysy to at least get 2.5 rinks up, because I know they've been struggling as well. Cheltenham lost to Mentone Edge, 99-64, 4 rinks up. Mentone Edge are absolutely flying. They're another one that should be going rather strong by the end of the year. So at this stage, I think it's Mentone Edge and Middle Park will be 2 of the sides, without getting too far ahead of ourselves, but 2 sides that haven't lost a game. And again, Mentone Edge are winning on average.
They're 79 points.
Yeah, they're winning by 24 points a game. So they're going pretty strong there. And lastly, Mulgrave got defeated by Cranbourne, 80 shots to 64. Cranbourne had 3 rinks up there, and it was at Mulgrave. So Mulgrave would be disappointed with that. That might be 2 on the trot for Mulgrave that they've dropped. I could be wrong. We'll have a look at last week's. Mary Warren, Cheltenham. Yeah, so that's, 2 decent defeats there by Mulgrave. So not panic stations yet, but you'd be thinking about changing around a few things because they got belted by Middle Park last week. So ladder there, Mentone Edge on top, Pakenham on second, 4-1. Mulgrave 3-2. Cheltenham, Narre Warren, Cranbourne on 2 and 3, and Keysy and Parkdale are 1 and 4. So again, it's the top 2 are well out in front, and then the next 3 or 4, it's pretty tight, 8 points between them. So there we go, everyone. That's our wrap up for the week.
I just got one more thing I want to add. Congratulations to my mate and club team member Kelly on winning the Hong Kong International Pairs Tournament I think it was a couple of days ago. So
yeah, I saw that floating around on Facebook.
So that was very good. So well done, and we're all proud of her.
Congratulations, Kelly.
Yeah.
Now, D-Mac, much coming up in terms of Vic and Australia duties? Oh, not Australia, but Vic duties.
Well, we're sort of state bowls is finished for the season now after the Nationals. So we had the New South Wales series in August, and then Queensland in September leading into Nationals, and now that's done. So I suppose the next thing coming up is the Region Sides Championships. It's in January at Ballarat, and then I suppose they'll pick their city versus country squads probably April, May, something like that, I suppose, and then pick their state side from that. So there's not sort of too much in the next few months from State Bowl's point of view, but just pennant and some region events, and see how we go.
I think it's good now that they have the city versus country rather than the old school trials. I mean, I know back when I was going to the trials, it was like, oh man, you're just going up there to chuck bowls down for a couple of days a lot of the time, and it was sort of how soon can it be finished? Whereas I think now is, like a bit of pride on the line, and you all play that bit harder and a bit more of a competitive game as opposed to, you'd probably nearly say it used to be like practice.
Yeah, I agree with that. City Country's been fantastic. I think it's been in for 4 or 5 years now, and really enjoyed the concept. Definitely. There's a bit of pride on the line, and you're playing for. Well, look, you were playing for something with state trials as well back in the day, but there's a bit more. You're playing for you're representing a side, and you're playing to win, and I think it's a good idea to play in that sort of. Replicate that sort of same environment as what you have in a state series, I suppose, with playing for your team against another team. So, it's a great idea, definitely.
So is that picked from the regionals, is it, D-Mac?
I think there's a little bit that goes into it. I think it's I think the regionals is definitely something that the selectors look at to help, pick their sides. But there's also the state champs, and obviously form with Pennant, and everything else, all the different tournaments around as well. So there's a few things that go into. I can't speak on behalf of the selectors, obviously, but there's a few things that they look at there for sure. And I'd say the state region side championships would definitely be one of the main things they look at. It's that same sort of format as what you play state bowls in, the pennant style format with the 3 rinks of 4s. So. It's that, and then city country is probably the main one after that. Once they get their cut their squads down to picking both those teams, and then sort of pick the state side out of that.
Yeah, because it'll be a bit, and I'm not. I know of one player myself who plays out in country. He probably is on the radar a little bit, but do you think a lot of the country guys will now be recognised a little bit more now that we've got this permit system that allows country players to actually come and play down in Melbourne and not sort of harm the chances of their regional club who they're playing for?
Yeah, I suppose that's I suppose that will help some players that might not get the same exposure if they weren't playing in the Premier League or Premier Reserve comps. Just that anything where you get a bit more exposure is going to help your chances when it comes to getting getting in front of the eyeballs of the selectors, I suppose. The permit system probably helped with that for sure.
Yep. Cool. All right. I don't think we've got any questions from the viewers. I think they were all just sort of saddling up and just commenting on what we'll...
Probably just agreeing with us, Clarky,
Yeah, well, David Clarky he agrees with most things. Hang on, geez, if the show keeps going next year, we will book in for Division 1. Oh, yeah, he's talking about Narry. Not Narry, Glen Waverley.
Oh.
Yeah, he's big. Look, Clarky's all right. He promotes his club very well, so, and he's always involved on the Facebook chats and things like that. So he's a good man, Clarky is.
Very good.
All right, well, that's it for this week's show. D-Mac, thanks very much, mate. Appreciate it. We'll probably...
Thank you, D-Mac.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me.
Probably get you on in a couple of weeks, or probably round 10 or something. Just get your input onto how everything's going, etc., etc. So
you can double your pay too from this show for the next episode.
Sounds great, boys. I look forward to it.
Pay, yeah. All right. Thanks very much, everyone. And,
thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next week.